12. The News at Noon starts right now.
Today at noon, will you see rain in your neighborhood? We're tracking rain chances every day this week. Sarah Spivey has the latest in about 3 minutes. Plus, a fire at an apartment complex forces several people from their homes. But first, we're still following major political news this noon, with President Joe Biden officially dropping out of the race for the White House just 1 month after the disastrous debate performance and after weeks of insisting he would stay in the race. That's leaving many people with a lot of questions. Now, our Devin Karp is here to help break down some of those answers. Devin, what are some of the major things we can clear up right now?
Well, Tiffany, there's not really a lot of precedents for what's happened before, but we have some of the big questions. Like, first, can Kamala Harris step in as the nominee? The short answer is yes, but it's a little complicated. After that, the second is, could other Democrats jump in the race? The short answer is yes, and there are several names being thrown around right now. And third, what's going to happen to all those campaign donations? Now, we know that President Biden was not as successful as fundraising as former President Donald Trump was when it came to getting that money, but he still collected millions from donors. So what happens to that money? Let's go ahead and get into all of that. Now, that first question, KSAT's Courtney Friedman spoke with David Smith. He's a professor of political science and government at North Central Texas College about Biden's announcement yesterday. Now, Smith says he was shocked Biden's announcement came on a Sunday, but what he wasn't surprised about was that the president put his support behind his VP. He says it's a tricky process from here on out without a lot of precedents, but it is legal for Kamala Harris to step in.
So by the Democratic Party rules, if a candidate who has secured delegates in the primary process decides that they are no longer going to run, or they drop out of the race or become incapacitated or die, those pledged delegates are then empowered under what's called the good conscience rule of the Democratic Party to then find the next best alternative up to their discretion. However, it has never been done on this scale.
That means delegates can choose to stand behind Harris if they want to, but they're not required to. They do have the ability to vote for someone else, but only if that other Democratic candidate steps up fast.
I think there's going to be some political operatives who have been considering this, given what we saw happen in June at the debate.
Now, finally, President Biden's campaign has raised about $100 million so far. Now, that money could be used for the vice president if she is selected. Now, if not, there's a couple different things that could happen.
If it's not Harris, there's about $90 to $100 million that will have to be transferred either back to the original donors, or it will have to go into a super PAC fund that will then be doled out or spent on behalf or in support of a candidate or in other party operations.
Now, ultimately, we're still under a month until the Democratic National Convention. That's where we're going to get a lot more clarity about these answers moving forward. Tiffany?
Thank you, Devin. Now, of course, this is a big story. That's a major topic of conversation. We've heard from politicians on both sides of the aisle, all agreeing that President Biden made the right decision. We spoke with several leaders. You can find all of that on KSAT.com. Just scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen. You'll find several interviews, including Democratic Congressman Joaquin Castro and Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez. And we want to hear from you as well. What impacts do you think the president's decision will have? The poll is up on KSAT.com right now. Tell us if you think Biden stepping down will give the Democrats a boost in its bid to beat former President Donald Trump. Let us know. So far, more than 60% of you say yes. And a look outside with live cam, 87 degrees, but we have a very active radar, Sarah.
Yeah, we do, especially in the hill country right now, Tiffany. So let's go ahead and take a look at the radar. I want to show you where the storms are at the moment, mainly working their way through Fredericksburg, Kerrville, and out toward northern parts of Val Verde County. Zooming into some of these areas, kind of missing the city of Rock Springs itself, but some heavy rain has fallen across parts of northern Edwards County, and now it's raining south of Rock Springs. I do think that this will fill in or a little bit over the next couple of hours. Just some flashes of lightning and some really heavy rain where the rain is falling. Mountain Home, Ingram, it is pouring right now where you're at. Kerrville proper, not quite yet into the city of Kerrville, but it'll be there momentarily. Comfort, you've got a heavy downpour occurring right now. We're still a few hours away from seeing this rain here in San Antonio, but we will see some scattered rain later on today. Here's a look at the rest of the day. I think for parts of this early afternoon, it should stay quiet. 92 for the high, but by about 5 p.m., that's when we'll start to see some scattered downpours. So kind of just in time for the evening commute. So if you're watching us right now, you have friends and family that's going to be out and about for the evening commute, give them heads up. There's probably going to be some rain for their evening commute. Flashes of lightning, pockets of very heavy rain. And then that'll continue into the evening hours tonight with some light rain left over by about midnight. But coming up in the forecast, we're going to be talking about how today is not the only day we expect rain in the week ahead. In fact, temperatures going to only be in the 80s because we do have daily chances for pop-up downpours. Those details coming up. Tiffany.
Thank you, Sarah. New this noon, several people on the far north side forced from their homes after a fire at an apartment. Fire crews tell us the fire is under control since it was a small fire. However, firefighters did have to use a lot of water, so 30 units were affected, but they mainly have water and smoke damage. This was at the Cypress at Stone Oak Apartments on Wilderness Oak, not too far from Highway 281. The San Antonio Police Department is investigating a woman's death and they need help identifying a suspect. This is 30-year-old Daniela Chavez. She was reported missing on March 30th, 2016 from her home in the 2600 block of Northeast Loop 410. Police say on September 11th, 2019, Chavez's human remains were found in a greenbelt area near the 4000 block of Swan's Landing. Officers say the circumstances of Chavez's death suggest foul play. If you have any information about this crime, call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP. And Crime Stoppers are also looking for suspects and information in the death of a 20-year-old woman back in 2019. Megan Gonzalez was found dead in a field in the 12,000 block of Wisdom Road, not far from La Crosse and Atascosa. According to police, Gonzalez was reported missing to the San Antonio Police Department back on November 15, 2019. Bexar County Sheriff's Office homicide investigators say they now need information on the events leading up to her death, along with those who may be involved in the murder. If you know something that can help, call Crime Stoppers. That number again, 210-224-STOP. Police are looking for a person who randomly assaulted a woman at a Santikos Palladium. Officers say it happened around 7 p.m. on July 15th in the 17,700 block of I-10 West. The victim told police she was inside a theater when she noticed another person alone toward the back of it. Police said the victim sat in her seat and saw the person move to the right behind her. Shortly after, the person pulled the victim's hair backward and hit her multiple times on her head before running out in an emergency exit. According to police, security footage inside the theater confirmed the victim's story. The victim said she did not know who the attacker was. Police said the victim had minor injuries. Getting your first set of wheels can be exciting for teens, but nerve-wracking for parents. Why choosing the right car is key. After the break. Welcome back. For teens, the combination of inexperience and lack of judgment makes driving risky, but car crashes remain the leading cause of death for teens, so choosing a car for your driver isn't easy. As digital journalist Ivan Herrera tells us, two safety groups have created a list of used cars that are safe, reliable, and ideal for your young driver.
When your teen starts to drive, choosing the right car is key.
Safety features such as the automatic braking system and blind spot detectors are there to make sure that not only he's safe, but everybody else on the road as well.
A good car for me would be something that's reliable, has high safety features, that's a comfortable drive.
Teenagers are among the riskiest drivers, with crash rates that are almost 4 times those of drivers 20 and older per mile driven.
Because young drivers are at such a high risk, buy a car with as much safety as your budget allows.
To help you strike a balance between cost and safety, Consumer Reports and the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety identified more than 50 cars under $20,000 with top safety and reliability ratings. On the list, you'll find some popular names like the Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla, and Hyundai Tucson.
Luckily, cars continue to get safer, and prices in both the new and used car market have stabilized, so we've been able to point families to even better options this year.
Consumer Reports says that proven safety features like forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking, and blind spot warning are worth considering.
A teen driver's first car should be a balance. Not too big, not too small, and definitely not too fast.
Make sure to have a conversation with your teens before they get behind the wheel.
making sure that we're focused on the road, limiting the distractions such as music and the amount of people in the car.
Good job.
Always take your time, use your safety precautions.
Ivan Herrera, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Ivan. That was great information. Now, those who want and can splurge for a new vehicle have many recommended models to choose from. One benefit is the bumper-to-bumper warranty new cars usually come with. You can find a link to the full list of recommended models for teens on KSAT.com. Let's take a look outside again with live cam. 87 degrees. You know, I'm really enjoying anything below 90s these days.
I know, Tiffany, and it's late July, so temperatures are going to be limited into the 80s this week, all because of this rain. Now, you can see that the rain is organizing across the hill country. It's just a matter of hours before we'll see some rain here in San Antonio, but we've got heavy rain falling near Kerrville right now and in parts of Real County. In the pollen count, yesterday we saw some rain around San Antonio that caused molds to spike. Molds are very high, past 13,000. No change to the aquifer level, but we're hoping we can see some fall on the recharge zone. It is falling on the area where that drains into the recharge zone. So that's good to know right now. Hopefully we'll see that number rise because we do have rain chances over the next several days in San Antonio. It's not going to be raining all day, but I'll tell you the details coming up in just a bit.
Welcome back. Let's check in with our friends at SA Live. Jen.
Hey guys. Hey Sarah, Tiffany. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. What you got for us today?
So yes, we're talking roller coasters today because I don't know if you guys saw, but SeaWorld is actually challenging people, thrill seekers, to ride the steel eel 25 times.
I did see that. I did see that.
Okay,
yeah, I think
that sounds crazy.
I think on a different day I could definitely do it. You know.
Yes. Well, that's the question of the day. I wanted to tie it all together and ask, because we started talking in the office, what is the first roller coaster that you rode? Do you guys have one? Maybe local even?
I can kind of remember this. Now, it was a while ago, but I did go to Disney World. Okay. The Rockin' Roller Coaster, I think, was one of the first roller coasters I rode. I'm pretty sure that's in Disney World. And I remember it because my sister was absolutely terrified. She's a couple years younger than me. We got off of that, and my sister, she just couldn't handle it. But I was so excited. I love roller coasters. Yeah. I really do think on a different day I could ride the Steel Eel 25 times.
You know, I can't remember my first roller coaster, but I have a funny roller coaster story. Actually, at SeaWorld, they had the Wave Breaker. I did it live here on air. We went on it. I went with photojournalist at the time, Jason Foster, and we had such a good time. But the next time I went back to SeaWorld, I took my husband. I go, oh, this is super easy. And he's not really into roller coasters. And he was like, this was not an easy roller coaster.
That is so funny. Okay, Jen, you go.
Oh, okay, but the Rattler. And I almost changed my mind. I was in 4th grade, and I didn't want to do it. I was on a field trip, and Mr. Don, if you're out there watching, you made me stay. You said, you got this, Jen. And I stayed on it, and I was terrified. Yeah, but I had fun. But that's another funny story. So yeah, see, all those stories, let us know. Scan that QR code and share your story. Thank you, ladies.
Great.
We'll see you a little later.
We're excited for SA Live today, starting at 1. So.
Yeah, and right now, there's a few clouds in the skies that are going to bring some showers soon, but so ride that roller coaster right now.
Right. Rain is on our doorstep at the moment. Weather, a bit of a roller coaster of emotions this week because rainfall is going to be pretty sporadic. It's not going to be raining all day every day, but you are going to see peaks of sunshine through the rain. And take a look at this rain. We're getting ready for a few showers and storms working their way through San Antonio in just a bit. Showing you some of the rainfall. It's raining pretty heavy right now near Ingram. Rain is coming down at a heavy clip. We're talking a quick 2-3 inches of rainfall where the heaviest of the rain is falling. That will lead to some areas of minor street flooding. Comfort, you're getting a good heavy downpour right now. As we take a look a little bit farther to the west, you can see right over Devil State Natural Area, plenty of flashes of lightning there here too. That's what those white lines are. Rock Springs as a whole generally missing out on the rainfall at the moment, but we've got plenty of time for this to fill in here. I'm going to show you just how much rain has fallen with this one little pocket of rain. Just in the last 12 hours, you can see how much rainfall has fallen. Anywhere you see these yellows and oranges, that's about 2 to 4 inches of rain near Junction. So again, that causes some minor street flooding and some minor issues like that. So as for us in San Antonio, when can we expect this rainfall? Well, I think right now it's fairly quiet other than a few showers near Hallettsville and Cuero. But I think we can expect some rain in the area closer to the evening commute. So it could interrupt some of your evening commute. You know how it is around San Antonio. Whenever we see rain during peak times on the road, that ends up creating some crashes, some incidents, and some traffic. So just be careful this afternoon as you're heading out and about. Because again, we're not worried about hail. We're not worried about anything like that. The biggest concern would be minor street flooding. Take a look at the satellite. You can see that the clouds are starting to filter in as well. In San Antonio at the moment, it is fairly sunny, and the sun kind of acts as fuel for these showers and storms later in the day. You know, I was talking to somebody and they were like, yesterday it was so sunny. And then all of a sudden it started to rain. Well, that sun actually fueled for those storms a little bit later. And that's going to be the pattern we're going to see in the next couple of days. Looking at your futurecast, again, I do think close to the evening commute, that's when we'll start to see some showers and storms developing around San Antonio. This could come down at a pretty heavy clip in some spots. Some places will only get sprinkles, but others will get a quick 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. And then as we head into the overnight hours, I think some lingering light rain. So looking at your KSAT 12-hour forecast, rain shouldn't really start in San Antonio until the evening commute, continuing into the evening hours, and temperatures will be in the 70s, about 60% coverage. So looking at tomorrow's forecast, yeah, some light rain in the morning and some cloud cover. So that's going to keep things relatively cool. Our high tomorrow is only going to be 86 degrees in San Antonio. And looking ahead to your 7-day forecast, take a look at highs only in the 80s in the coming days. Slightly less coverage on the rain tomorrow and slightly less coverage on Wednesday and Thursday, but we're still going to have times of downpours in the afternoons on Wednesday and Thursday. Then we see our rain chances actually go up by Friday, and there's even the potential for some rain over the weekend too. I think the biggest thing I can stress is it's not going to rain all day every day, but with the chance for rain, especially in the afternoons, highs are going to be limited to the 80s. A pretty nice looking forecast for the end of July. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Let's switch gears now. A few days ago, ESPN released their list of the top 100 athletes since the year 2000. And while households' names from all kinds of sports made it on the list, so did a few current and former San Antonio Spurs players. Here's a snapshot of some of our local guys who made the list, as well as some other familiar names. Ranked highest, of course, was Spurs alum Tim Duncan at spot number 16. He managed to nudge one spot ahead of Cole High School alum and overall legend Shaquille O'Neal. Other Spurs and former Spurs on the list include recent addition Chris Paul at spot number 83. And former Spur Kawhi Leonard made the list at spot number 85. So let's start off with our leading former Spur, Tim Duncan. Timmy beat out other legends like Kevin Durant, Dwayne Wade, and Shaq for his spot on the list. And it's not hard to see why. As a 14-time NBA All-Star player with 5 championships to his name, as well as a spot in the NBA Hall of Fame. And while a lot of his big wins, like the 1999 championship, happened before the cutoff year of 2000, he had enough accomplishments in the 21st century to cement his place on the list. From one former Spur to one incoming Spur, Chris Paul claimed his spot at number 83 on the list by simply being one of the best passers and point guards in the NBA. CP3 was named to the NBA's 75th anniversary team alongside Duncan in 2021, NBA Rookie of the Year in 2006, and a 12-time NBA All-Star player. Paul's recent signing with the Spurs put him in a good position to help build up a lot of up-and-coming Spurs like Victor Wembanyama and Keldon Johnson. Another guy who previously wore the black and silver on the list was the big Kawhi Leonard at number 85. At 6'7" and a wingspan of almost 8 feet, Leonard is superhuman on and off the court. In his 7 years with the Spurs, he made Finals MVP during the 2014 NBA Finals, 2 NBA All-Star placements, 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and a spot in the 2012 All-Rookie First Team. After the Spurs, Leonard earned himself another championship and was honored as the Associated Press's 2019 Athlete of the Year. And you may be asking, why didn't the Spurs' newest powerhouse, Victor Wembanyama, make the list? The simple answer is, while he's already made a name for himself, he and others still have many years to build their legend. ESPN said folks like Wemby and other young stars will likely be in the next top 100 list in 2050. And with folks like Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes behind him, Wemby may just rank higher than Tim Duncan did this go around. Extreme heat isn't just unpleasant, it can be dangerous, especially for those who are pregnant. What you need to know in the next half hour.
Vice President Kamala Harris officially announcing her bid for the 2024 presidential race. I'm Micah Jachi reporting in New York. Coming up, a list of the endorsements she's already received.
Following President Joe Biden's decision to drop out of the White House race, a growing number of Democrats are getting behind Vice President Kamala Harris as a new candidate for president. ABC's Ike Ejachi reports now Republicans are shifting their focus on Harris, and some are calling for President Biden to resign.
Vice President Kamala Harris officially entering the 2024 presidential race following President Biden's full endorsement. Harris releasing a statement accepting the challenge, saying in part, "I will do everything in my power to unite the Democratic Party and unite our nation to defeat Donald Trump and his extreme Project 2025 agenda." Her statement coming amid a growing chorus of endorsements for her candidacy. Representative Adam Schiff, who publicly called for President Biden to step down, says President Biden will go down as one of the greatest presidents of our time, and that he's excited to endorse Kamala Harris for president and give her my full support. Harris also securing endorsements from key constituencies, including the Congressional Black Caucus. Voters offering immediate reactions to the change atop of the Democratic ticket.
I can see it. I can feel it. I'm 100% behind her.
In some way a little unexpected, but also maybe time for it.
The facts still remain the same. We still have a border issue. We still have inflation. A lot of people are struggling.
House Speaker Mike Johnson and several other Republicans responding, calling on President Biden to leave office immediately, saying if he can't seek re-election, he cannot serve office now. Moving forward, the main question for Harris will be her pick for vice president. Sources tell ABC News she's called more than 100 people so far, shoring up support, including Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, who've been floated as possible running mates.
Well, I think if somebody calls you on that, what you do is at least listen.
The presidential race will still likely come down to those 7 battleground states. As of now, Vice President Harris's approval ratings are slightly better than President Biden's numbers, and there may be more room to grow. A recent ABC News Ipsos poll showing Harris with a 3-point edge against Donald Trump. Ike Ejachi, ABC News, New York.
New this noon, the director of the Secret Service says the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump was the agency's biggest failure in decades. Her comments came as lawmakers grilled her during a congressional hearing. However, as she testified, Kimberly Cheadle dodged one important lingering question.
At any point Saturday, did the Secret Service have an agent on top of that roof?
Sir, I'm sure, as you can imagine, that we are just 9 days out from this incident, and there's still an ongoing investigation. And so I want to make sure that any information that we are providing to you is factual.
You can't, okay. Why did the Secret Service not, can you answer why the Secret Service didn't place a single agent on the roof?
We are still looking into the advanced process and the decisions that were made.
Well, okay. that building within the perimeter that should be secured. Do we agree with that?
The building was outside of the perimeter on the day of the visit. But again, that is one of the things that during the investigation we want to take a look at and determine whether or not other decisions should have been made.
Cheadle says she takes full responsibility for the agency's missteps. Now, she says the Secret Service will take corrective action. It's not clear what that could mean. The rally shooting left one spectator dead. Trump was wounded in the ear. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is naming a bipartisan panel to do an independent review of the Trump assassination attempt. The secretary experts include former Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano and Mark Phillip, a former federal judge and deputy attorney general to President George W. Bush. Now, the independent review comes as a request of President Biden. Secretary Mayorkas told reporters last week he wanted the review up and running in a matter of days. And a look outside with Lab Camp here in San Antonio, 87 degrees. I know a lot of people, Sarah, want that rain in their area.
Yeah, just like yesterday, we're going to have a varying amount of rainfall depending on where you live. The development of the rain, and if you get the highest rainfall totals, is kind of random with these pop-up showers and storms. But we are seeing rain up in the hill country right now. Thunderstorms with heavy rainfall falling across many areas, so it's just a matter of time before we'll see the rain here in San Antonio. Take a look, Rock Springs, you're about to get some heavier rain here in just a moment as that rain shower moves into your neck of the woods. Kerrville, Ingram, Comfort, lots of rainfall out there too. Some heavy rain starting to move into Medina and Bandera County. Again, just a couple of hours here from seeing this rain in San Antonio, right in time for the afternoon commute. So keep that in mind if you have plans to travel out and about, family traveling out and about this afternoon after work. Text your family, let them know there's going to be some rain in the area this afternoon. It's already 81 in Kerrville, so you can see the rain cooling air, 78 in Fredericksburg and 70 in Rock Springs. Meanwhile, we're getting close to 90 degrees here in San Antonio. For the rest of the day, I think we'll reach 92, but in the afternoon, that's when we're going to see a few showers and storms, heavy downpours develop in localized areas, even carrying into the evening hours as well. I will walk you through the forecast here coming up in a bit. It has been a while since we've seen 100 degrees in San Antonio. That's good news, all because we've had some rainfall in the area. I'll tell you how long it's been, and of course, we'll detail your rain chances for the rest of the week coming up in a bit. Tiffany.
Thank you, Sarah. Now, 1,500 homes in Riverside, California have been evacuated because of a raging wildfire. The 500-acre blaze started yesterday and is currently 0% contained. The wildfire has destroyed 3 buildings and damaged 4 others. So far, no one has gotten hurt. Meanwhile, this isn't the only blaze in California. The Eagle Fire, also in Riverside County, has also burnt 500 acres, but this one is 25% contained. All evacuation orders have been downgraded to warnings. Drought conditions and recent heat waves across the West have dried out much of the region. It's left room for wildfires to quickly spread out of control. Isolated dry thunderstorms are forecast to spread from northwestern California to western Montana today. That increases the potential for new fires. Extreme heat can be dangerous for anyone. However, people who are pregnant are especially vulnerable. Exposure to high temperatures can not only harm them, but can also lead to complications with the pregnancy. CNN's Mandy Gaither talks to an OBGYN about what every pregnant person should know during a heat wave.
Extreme heat and pregnancy. It's not just uncomfortable, but also potentially dangerous.
Pregnant women are at increased risk of heat exhaustion and heat stroke due to the fact that there's a lot of physiologic changes that causes differences in blood flow in their bodies.
Dr. Catherine Caponero, an OBGYN with Cleveland Clinic, says not only can extreme heat be harmful to the person who's pregnant, it can also cause complications for the developing fetus.
So trying your best to do all that you can in your control in order to stay cool and to keep your body healthy is really important for your pregnancy.
To stay safe in the heat, Caponero says try to stay inside during the hottest times of the day. If you do go out, wear light-colored clothing in layers to help keep you as cool as possible. Check the air quality index. Breathing polluted air can cause harm to pregnant people. And finally, stay hydrated. Caponero recommends consuming between 8 and 12 glasses of water a day.
A lot of pregnant women can't tolerate straight water, so sometimes flavoring that with fruits or even a splash of juice can be really helpful.
Since you know your body best, Caponero says if something doesn't feel right in the summer heat, talk to a doctor.
Making sure that you are watching yourself, taking care of yourself, and listening to your body is one of the best things that you can do as a pregnant patient.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The CDC says some prescribed medications, including antihistamines and antihypertensive medications, can also make pregnant patients more sensitive to the heat. The agency says to be aware of that and to talk to a doctor about any concerns. And a local hospital is working to ease some patients' stress with a little help from Mother Nature. Welcome back. A look outside again with live cam. Sarah is back and she's breaking it down for us.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm in a rap or something.
Yeah.
we're breaking down the rain. Take a look at your screen. You can see that there's a few showers and storms up near Kerrville, Comfort on our doorstep for San Antonio. We can expect a few showers and storms right around the time of the evening commute. Molds are very high in San Antonio today, past 13,000. The aquifer, no change, but we're hoping to see this go up a little bit because it's nearly 30 feet below the monthly average. How many days has it been since we've seen 100 degrees in San Antonio? 16. The last time was on July 6th. And take a look at the forecast highs over the next several days. Our highs are only going to be in the 80s, all thanks to at least the chance for rain each day. Details coming up.
Welcome back. We're going to see some showers, hopefully in our area, but are you enjoying this weather?
I'm enjoying it because it's a lot better than the alternative. This time last year, Tiffany, we were dealing with multiple days in a row of 100+ degree weather. And this week, our highs are going to struggle to get out of the 80s. So, yeah, even though you may not get rain every day, right, it is going to be better than the alternative, which is temperatures in the triple digits. I think a lot of people will get rain today, and here's the reason why. Take a look at your screen. This is a look at the radar. Some showers and storms starting to build in the hill country and gradually starting to move a little bit farther to the south here. Right now, the heaviest of the rain is falling in areas in Edwards County and in Val Verde County, kind of though right on that Edwards and Val Verde County line, so relatively low populated area, but even Rock Springs getting some good rain. Camp Wood, Lakey, Kerrville. I'm going to go ahead and switch the radar that's closer to San Antonio, and you can see some of the heaviest of the rain, too, falling right over Comfort just a little while ago and north of Comfort there. That's where we've got some of the heaviest of the showers and storms. And these showers and storms are putting down a lot of rain over a short amount of time. And even though this area is in the middle of a drought, that can still lead to some areas of minor flooding. Let's take a look at rainfall over the last 12 hours here, really honestly over the last couple of hours. And you can see that even in Ingram, where it was raining just for about an hour or less than an hour, 1.5 inches of rain has already fallen in that area. And so again, wherever the rain falls, it will fall at a pretty heavy clip. We're still quite a bit of ways from this rain getting to San Antonio, where it's falling right now just north of Comfort. That is about let's measure that. That's about 40 to 50 miles. So I do think we're not going to really see much of the rain until closer to the afternoon and evening commute. But look up how cool the temperatures are from the rain-cooled air. Rock Springs, it's only 70 degrees. It's 81 in Kerrville right now, where there has been some rain. Meanwhile, close to San Antonio, we're getting close to 90 degrees. So as we look at the futurecast, again, I think this afternoon and evening during the commute, that's when we'll start to see some rain around San Antonio. It really could come down heavy at times. There's going to be some that still miss out, but if you do get one of those very heavy rain showers, keep in mind that that could result in some minor flooding issues. A quick 2-3 inches of rain is entirely possible if you get some of the heaviest rain this afternoon and this evening. And I say this evening too because this could continue into the late evening hours with even some light rain through early tomorrow in the morning. So looking at your KSAT 12-hour forecast, I think we're going to stay dry in San Antonio for the next couple of hours. But by about 5 o'clock, that's when we'll start to see a few showers and storms develop. Right around the time of the evening commute, it's going to be pretty messy out there, so just be careful this afternoon. And then later on tonight, temperatures falling into the 70s as rain chances stay fairly high. Some light rain in the morning hours, a high of only 86 because I think we're going to stay fairly cloudy through the first part of the day, and then less coverage tomorrow in the afternoon of showers and storms. But temperatures are going to be pretty welcoming over the next several days, especially when we consider that our average high is 96. So we're likely going to be some 5 to 10 degrees cooler than that. Highs only in the 80s. That's because that heat high is all the way off to the west. It's not right over Texas. Take a look at the forecast highs across areas under that heat eye. 106 in Boise, Idaho, 114 in the Mojave Valley, 102 in Baker City, 101 in Spokane, Washington. So again, it is a really good thing that heat high is not overhead. What should you expect today through Friday? On and off rain. So it's not going to be raining the entire day. Times of downpours with peaks of sunshine in between. And the amount of rain that you get in your backyard will vary day to day. One day you might get sprinkles, other days you might get some heavy rain. I think widespread by Friday, most of us should have clocked about an inch of rain in our backyards, with a few of the luckiest neighborhoods getting 3 to 4 inches of rainfall. And again, it's all about those cooler temperatures. Temperatures are only going to be in the 80s this week, whether or not you get rain on a day-to-day basis. So a welcome weather pattern for many folks through end of July. This is pretty nice for us to see this time of year. And again, of course, we're going to keep you updated on air, online, and the KSAT Weather Authority app.
Hospitals can be scary and stressful for everyone, but what if I told you you could be surrounded by nature? From your patient room window to access to an outdoor trail. It's what you'll find at the furthest west hospital in San Antonio proper, Westover Hills Baptist Hospital off Loop 1604 and Wiseman Boulevard, set to open in August. Built to serve our growing community on the city's far west side, it's also where city meets hill country. Its design incorporating nature was intentional. Combat stress and help with healing.
Our campus is 72 acres. We're proud to say that 2/3 of that remains untouched green space. We did everything in our power to preserve and protect every tree that we could.
CEO Brady Phillips explains the campus was built around a courtyard and trail area that can be accessed and viewed from most parts of the building.
We have those not just outdoor views, but a lot of our rooms in the hospital have those same views as well. But we just definitely took a lot of focus on sight lines and things like that to make sure that we had a relaxing environment.
Why? Because nature heals. Research shows that exposure to green spaces is associated with a range of positive health outcomes, and the physicians here take it seriously.
There's actually a field or a term called biophilia, which talks about the interaction of nature and the good things that it brings to human beings. So, like I said, it affects you not just physically, but also emotionally. We know that patients and people in general, being around nature grounds you, calms you. It helps to reduce blood pressure. It helps to reduce anxiety.
Not to mention improves mental health and can lead to a faster recovery from illness or surgery.
So psychologically, spiritually, it does affect the patients in the sense that, yeah, I can get better and I can move forward, and this is kind of a new beginning for a lot of them, which is a really strong driver towards health.
The courtyard is filled with native heat and drought-resistant plants and trees, and even though this space looks barren now, it will be seeded with native grasses and wildflowers that come next spring will be in full bloom. You see that pond behind me? We're about a football's field away from the hospital, and eventually a trail will be built from the hospital to the pond so everyone has access to it. Everyone from patients recovering, visiting families, and even staff that Dr. Moen says she needs throughout the day.
Just being able to be outside of the beeping and the constant commotion that's going on inside the hospital, to come out and have a moment of peace and listen to just sounds of nature, I think is a huge relief.
Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
Welcome back. We talked about roller coasters, but you know there's going to be food on SA Live. Let's check in with Jen.
Yes, and this one you may not be expecting. Take a look down here. We've got some grasshoppers. These are ants, and this salt right here is actually made out of the grasshoppers. Why? Why do we have this? You may be wondering. Well, I'm actually going to probably try these grasshoppers, and we're going to tell you which Mexican spirit they pair with and why. Okay, all that. Do I have your attention? I hope so. Also, a creative way to capture those summer vacations. We have our go-to crafter, Adina Anderson, here with us. What do you have there?
So I just put one layer of decoupage on here, and then this is a way to take some photos that you have on your phone, get them off your phone, put them on some cute little coasters that you can have in your home, and then put a layer. Look, there's Miss Riley.
Oh, is that yours?
Yes.
Oh, so cute. And it's so easy. I love that. Look at that. She's got the finished ones right there. Okay, Tiffany mentioned food. One of our favorite burger places is on the show today, and they have a deal for you. It's a food truck. Okay, I'll tell you that much, and you might be able to get some free fries. We're going to tell you how. Speaking of deals, we've got some insider deals on home goods, and some of these items up to 80% off, okay? And speaking of deals, I need some deals for back to school because my kids are ready to go shopping. We've got the looks for you, maybe if you're a teacher. We have all the tips and tricks from the pros. That and much more coming up on SA Live.